What's up, guys? It's your boy Zion, and I'm bringing another Destiny video. Game Informer had their recent info explosion, and in a recent video, they showed off the Kazastav, or Kazstav, however you want to say it. But it's a throwback to OG Destiny players, or even new Destiny players, because back in the day when auto rifles were the fucking tits, the Kazstav was a monster. Like, it was an absolute beast, and it was because it was the first gun in the game and Crucible doesn't have a light cap. So you were looking at guns for perks as opposed to light. And it was the Kavstav that reigned supreme, was an absolute monster to deal with and was one of the end-all be-all guns right up there with the Surge regime back in the day when people would run auto rifles in the Crucible. So, because it was a crowd favorite and a loved gun amongst basically the entire community, they wanted to do a throwback and bring it back as an exotic, and they're doing it in a way similar to the Sleeper Simulant. Basically, you're going to go ahead and find parts as you explore the Plague Lands, and it'll trigger the whole quest line. And it kind of reminds me of the Sleeper Simulant, in which you have to find Dvalin relics and take them to the gunsmith. That's kind of what it seems like to me. Now the issue that I have with this is I'm not going to do a review on the gun until I actually have it hands-on. I don't think that would be right. I think we should actually see how it performs in-game as opposed to just speculating. However, I think it's going to be a good gun from what I've seen in the Game Informer video. I can go ahead and link that down in the description or put up a card or something to it. But I absolutely think that going exotic quest lines is an iffy and very shady, I guess, kind of tactic for doing exotics, because it was a good and bad thing in the Taken King. Basically, it made it so guns you did the exotic quest for seemed more unique. Like, you did all the work for them. They were cool to have once you actually got them. It was a bragging right there for a little bit before everyone had the questline guns. Now, with that being said, there's still the issue of they were time gated. You had to go ahead and get the specific daily mission to go ahead and do any of the exotic quest lines, and you had to do this specific task perfectly in that mission to go ahead and complete the quest line. And because of this, not everyone was able to go ahead and partake and get all of these exotics. They got locked out. For example, the No Time to Explain. If you didn't go ahead and do the quest line within the first week or two it was out, nobody was running Atheon after that. Like, once it came out, everyone knew about the quest lines due to previous ones. So they did it instantly to go ahead and get it and be ready for it because they didn't know when the mission would come out again. Kind of what happened with the No Time to Explain, where everyone got locked out if you didn't do the Paradox mission and it didn't show up for 9 weeks after. But there are things where people got locked out, you got time gated, so you couldn't get the gun quickly. And it was just an all around bad feel. But at the end of the day, when you finally did get the gun, it was super rewarding. You did feel awesome for doing all the work and putting in all the time to go ahead and get this gun. However, there were also instances with, say, the Sleeper Simulant. Everyone thought it was going to be super fucking awesome, and then it's kind of underwhelming, to be honest. The Sleeper Simulant is one of those guns that it has its uses. It is very useful doing things like the Raid or Solar Burn Nightfalls. Things like that where you need high burst damage on a single target. But you could do about the same, if not more, damage with an exotic sword or a machine gun firing the whole time. And it kind of was just a major letdown where you put in all this work for an exotic that is very situational and you don't really need. It just was a bad feel where you did all this extra work for what was supposed to be, or was promised to be, a really fucking awesome exotic, and in exchange you got a pretty mediocre exotic that was great situationally, but overall loses. You can't use the Sleeper Simulate all the time. There's so many situations in which it's better to just have a machine gun. Name and point, the Crucible. It's It's sad to say, but this exotic, you put in all this work, all this time to go ahead and do all this grinding for the dwelling relics, all of it was for nothing. Like, sadly, you got the gun, kudos, but at the end of the day, it's not worth its weight. Like, it kind of sucks, and it's not cool. So I'm really scared to see exotic quests coming back. I hope they implement it better so people aren't as time gated and you don't have to do things quickly. Like, there are people who do not play the game every single day and don't go ahead and have time to go ahead and do each consecutive step of a quest line one after the other and spend several hours grinding out an exotic quest line. Now, going back to the Kostov, it's something where doing the quest line itself, they've mentioned that if you have an OG original Kostov in your vault, if you dismantle it, it'll start the quest line instantly. Now, I know this has caused a lot of controversy in the community because nobody wants to break down their OG Kostov. Or majority of the community, I should say, doesn't want to break down their OG Kostov, and the people who do typically don't have one. And the only way to get one is to go ahead and delete a character, create a new character, and re-level all the way back up. And basically, that's the only way to get in a Kostov, is it's the first gun in the game that you actually get. So it's something where it has a split reaction with the community. Most people don't want to make a new character, or if they do, they need to start now to level up in time and do all the quests to be able to do the new content. And then there's people who have an OG Kostov sitting in their bank, but they aren't too keen about breaking it down because it's still a monster and they're not quite sold on the exotic. Like, they'd rather have an exotic secondary or an exotic heavy than have an exotic primary. It kind of is a major trade-off. I'd rather have a truth than an exotic assault rifle in the Crucible where the Kostov actually shined, plus all the nerfs to auto rifles kind of makes it a little iffy going ahead and moving forward looking at auto rifles in the Crucible. But that's a discussion for another day. Thank you guys for watching. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, a comment, a favorite, and subscribe. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. Are you excited to see exotic quests coming back? Or are you in the same boat as me where you think it might be handled similar to the Taken King's exotic quest and it gets a little sketchy and scary? Like, I am kind of scared, like legitimately scared to see how this is implemented, but only time will tell how they do exotic quest lines in the Rise of Iron. So that's gonna be the video for today, guys. Like I said, I'll see you guys later. Peace.